I gotta admit, college basketball, the women are they are putting on a show. They are
Oh,
really
for
putting on
sure.
a show in college basketball. So I got to begin by recapping last weekend. Look at this. We had Utah in a close fight against Oregon State. Where Utah survived on the road. I got to admit, this season road games is not it's not going well for top ranked teams.
Right, yeah. And
It,
very unexpected some of these losses, especially that UNC loss for me.
oh
Now
my
don't get me wrong, Louisville is a team that made the Final Four last year, so I'm not surprised that they're able to hand out losses. But I had UNC pegged to be a little bit better than that, and Louisville has been struggling this season. And but Haley Van Lith is there. She's a baller. She's already played on the 3-on-3 Team USA also.
I watched that Louisville, North Carolina game.
Well, I was switching back and
And
forth between it and UConn.
see, I ain't have to do that. I have multiple TVs, which is nice.
I
But
saw. I saw.
I was looking at the game. I'm like this. It was a better runs in this game because North Carolina would
Yes.
get on the run, they'll take the lead. Louisville get on the run, they'll take. It was a better runs back and forth. And so finally, to me, North Carolina they just couldn't hit no more.
hmm
They just couldn't get the shots that they want anymore.
Yeah, it seemed like they ran out of gas. I do think that they are a tough team. They came into the season a little higher ranked than that because of they made a deep um, tournament run last season. But this is that time of year. It's the last 8-9 games of the regular season. Then you have your conference tournaments, and then you have the big tournament. So, the next 9 weeks are insane for these college players, and this is not a time to be dropping a big game like that to an unranked team. I was looking at the rankings just a second ago. I think we
Oh,
have two lost teams all the way to number 7. So you can't lose many games and
I would show
expect to
you.
be
I'll be showing you the rankings in a bit because I think
okay.
they're those. I would say this though before I move to my last slide. Baylor and Louisville not ranked. I have to question what is going on with the two programs because these are the two teams
Mm,
that I know to be ranked and to have good seasons. I'm seeing
you said
Baylor with
Baylor and
six
who?
losses, and I'm not saying Baylor with 6 losses, and I'm saying Louisville with 8 losses. Makes me wonder what is going on with my two programs because I'm used to seeing them two somewhere in the middle to the top range of the college basketball rankings.
Well, Baylor is understandable. Kim Mulkey is now at LSU, and this is her second season. So Baylor, I kind of get. Louisville was a shock to me, but you know what? They lost Emily Inksler in the draft to the Indiana Fever, and I think maybe she played a more of a role than what we thought.
That's a good point. Next slide takes us to the game of the season. Now, for those of you games, some of you have chimed in that said it was South Carolina going to Stanford as the game of the season. Y'all just looking at rankings. When I call this a game of the season, the home team is UConn.
Right.
Anytime you see UConn women on the program, people are going to watch because it's Gino Rimmer. Is how many
Right.
championships we talking about since he's been at UConn? Okay,
I want to say, man, I don't want to be wrong, but I want to say it's 8 or 9, maybe double
you have to.
digits.
This man has been winning titles since 2000.
Right.
From Diana Taurasi to Sue Bird to Maya Moore. I mean, Brianna Stool. We can keep going. This man has been winning championships. So you got one of the best in the business in UConn hosting, who are currently shaping their own dynasty right now with Don Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. This game was all what everybody wanted to see and more.
Right.
South
Uh,
Carolina.
you know, UConn came in strong, and I wasn't too surprised by that. They were the home team. I mean, and it was just chippy as it could be. They were handing out fouls early. Aaliyah Boston was double and triple teamed the entire game. It was, I mean, just an extremely physical game. But I knew at halftime you got to look at it and kind of think logically and know that UConn's two best players are on the bench. So eventually,
It,
health was going to play an issue.
can I scare y'all for that season? Because
Oh man,
some of y'all seen the post. Imagine UConn if Pace Buckets and Flood was not injured.
right? Yeah, yeah, for
That,
sure. And then, but
that's
Aaliyah
a
Edwards
scary
has
thought.
really stepped up. It is
Yes.
scary, but like Edwards, she's really stepped up this season in those injuries, and she's definitely their top player at the moment. So definitely don't want to downplay her success because she's earned it and she works for it every time she gets on that court. We have since heard that well, we knew how upset Gino was. He threw a water bottle onto the court. He was a little upset. He said that his girls were bruised
Oh,
up and that there were a lot of calls didn't go his way. But I mean,
oh,
you're at home,
oh,
buddy.
I know. I got that article. Oh, I got that article. Sure.
Oh yeah, he was upset.
Now,
He was like, "This is not
it
basketball." But
wasn't UConn's Aaliyah who put the nail in the coffin in this one. It was South Carolina's Aaliyah. Because
right,
in the second half, she decided, I'm taking over a double team or not.
right, yeah. I mean, there's a reason why she's going to be the number one draft pick. And I don't see Indiana trading that pick. She's going to be an Indiana Fever player, and I am excited for her because while they have been the worst team the last couple of seasons, they have Destiny Henderson, which is a former teammate of Aaliyah's. They got Emily Inksler, and they have a few other pickups over there. They got Vivian's, who is tough. So I kind of expect Indiana to make some noise. Now I'm not sold on their coach just yet. We shall see.
As you see, Duke went down to South Bend and gave the Notre Dame Fighting Irish an
And
unexpected
that was a
L.
huge, huge game too. But they had a couple of players that were injured. Notre Dame did. So once again, health plays a role.
And then the shocker, number two
Ooh, I
goes
didn't see
down.
this one. I didn't expect this. I like Stanford. They are just brimming over the edge with talent, and this is a shocker. But you know what? It doesn't really. I mean, it matters. Of course, regular season matters because of seeding and momentum. But if this is one of those games that they learn from and you get your loss out of the way now compared to in March, then it's much better to lose now, but use it as a building block and you come in fierce every game from now on.
Where one team who wants to get rid of a loss right about now is Ohio State because they got destroyed.
They
Straight
did,
up
and
destroyed.
and their loss, um, their most recent loss knocked them down so much further than they were. So I had suspicions that they were just probably peaking a little early.
And then Virginia Tech got a good war win in Raleigh, North Carolina, the NC State Wolfpack. NC State's another team I'm looking at trying
Right.
to figure out what's going on with them because they was up there.
Well, they had some seniors graduate. Kai Crutchfield graduated, and crazily enough, she didn't get drafted. So I'm not exactly sure what she's doing now, but she has a degree also, so she has other things that she was going to do in her life besides basketball. But I want to say they had two or three seniors graduate last year.
That's that. And what took place over the past weekend led to these rankings because, as you know, South Carolina number one,
Right.
number two, Indiana. When is the last time you seen
Oh
Indiana ranked
yeah,
this high?
at least a decade,
And
I want to
then
say.
number 30, the surprise of the season, LSU 23-0.
Right. Now they okay, so them and South Carolina are the last undefeated teams. Now Georgia did did give LSU a run for their money last week. It went to overtime. Georgia just ran out of gas in the overtime, so LSU was able to dominate that. I have an opinion about the LSU schedule. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Angel Reese fan. I mean, she's so fun to watch, but they haven't really played anybody, and the toughest team they've played has been Georgia. Now, February 12th, they play South Carolina, and I think that's going to be a good
This
measuring
weekend,
stick.
Super Bowl weekend. Ooh.
The 12th.
Oh
Hmm.
no. Ooh. That might be
Yep,
the
the
game I
12.
need to watch before Super Bowl.
Right,
Ooh,
exactly.
somebody got to lose.
Right, exactly.
Somebody
Somebody
got
got
to
to
take this
lose.
L. Somebody got to take this L.
Right.
I'm sorry. And as you look at the rankings, UConn for Caitlin Clark.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
Iowa. Now they have been able to integrate their other pieces more, or they've been able to stand up, stand up and do a little more than what they have been doing. So while Iowa we knew was going to be a factor in the tournament, it's starting to look like their regular season they're going to be real serious too.
all right, then continue on from 11 to 25. As you can see, Virginia Tech, Michigan, Ohio State, North Carolina. That's a that's a that's a tough drop for North
Now
Carolina.
My Texas ladies at 20, we've had a tough season. Got hit with injuries, and we had a really big scare in the Baylor game. Rory Harmon, our point guard, went out in the third quarter and didn't come back, and it was really scary. We thought maybe a knee injury. Now she started the season injured as well, so she missed the first 3 or 4 games, and so we went into the season preseason ranked number 2, and so obviously expectations were really high. And then Aaliyah Moore tore ACL. Like I said, Rory Harmon was injured for the first few games, and so we had to go through some tribulations. But come tournament time, like I said before, we might have 6 losses on our record, and even if we get to 8 or 9 losses, I still think we're dangerous come tournament time.
So I hate to ask this question because it's gonna pain me to say this, but talk to me about Florida State.
Oh, Florida State. I
I
think
did
they're
not
pretty
see.
serious.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
I didn't
Florida
see this
State being
coming.
20 and 5.
No, 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 no. I don't know if they're overachieving, or if we just weren't paying attention to them. I'm just as surprised as you, to be honest.
Because I was looking for some Gators to be doing something this year, and honestly, something's going on down in Gainesville. And I
Right,
think I need to go investigate why my ladies are not playing to the standard that they played it last year.
right.
It started off
Yeah,
good. We
yeah,
started the season off real
definitely.
good. I was like, oh, we coming.
Injuries, injuries. I think and I mean that's just a factor. Any sport, any team, it happens. You have years where you just get incredibly injured, and you got to adjust. UConn, even though they're at number 5, they're really injured too.
Yeah, but I needed my ladies though because I can't trust my men, obviously,
Yeah,
and
it's
yeah,
been a while since the Florida Gators were good.
and we ain't gonna talk about football season. So I need something to hold on to, and I thought it was gonna be my ladies, and my ladies will let me down.
Um, Maybe check out volleyball.
Oh, Lord. This is bad. Anyway, moving on. Here we go. This is what you wanted to talk about. Because
Right,
Don
yeah.
Staley did come back.
I
Gino claimed that this is not basketball anymore. Players getting beaten up, getting bruised. Don Staley was not having it.
I don't know what sport Gino has been watching, but it has always been an incredibly physical game. Um, I mean, it's always been a physical game. It's always been that. I don't see when I watch South Carolina, I don't see them play dirty. Do I think there's missed calls on all sides? Yes. But how are you complaining when you're at home? You know, like these are your refs. Like it was what it was.
I mean, look,
And he called these ladies thugs, and I don't get down with that at all whatsoever. Dawn made a statement that majority of her team is African American. She's African American, and then to call them thugs, um, I don't. I'm not the type to insinuate, so we'll just leave it at the statement that it was, but inappropriate on all levels.
this is not
And
Gino
like I said,
Rivera though. I'm trying to figure out who's the imposter because this isn't Gino. He doesn't make comments
he's
like
always
this.
he's always been like this. I'm not surprised. Going back to the rivalry between him and Pat, and then he has issues with Candace Parker. She won't ever play for Team USA ever again because of the time that she was there and Gino was the coach. So I'm not surprised, to be honest.
South Carolina, they just get it done.
They
And by the
do.
way, they was down 10 points. I was looking like, when was the last time South Carolina ever been down 10 points?
Right. They were down 11 at the end of the first quarter.
I was like, when the last time y'all seen South Carolina down double digits in any game since Don State has been there?
Right. Yeah.
And they overcame it.
They did.
That's something that I was like, yeah, I know we got to talk about this because I'm pretty sure it's making way. Now, another thing I want to talk about, getting back to Miss Caitlin Clark.
Right.
Her
So
last
she's
game.
tied for the most. Or no, she has the
Tied for
most.
ninth triple double. Tied for second most because my girl
Oh, okay.
Sabrina Nesky was just a triple double machine out in Eugene, Oregon. Good gracious.
Right. Yeah, she definitely was. Not surprised by Caitlin doing this as well. I want to see them follow it up with some deep tournament play. Like for me to feel like she got the most use out of her college years, I want to see Caitlin in the Final Four.
Yeah, because they got knocked out. Was it the second round in the tournament last year? I want to say the
They
second
did get
round.
knocked out in the second round. Is she draft eligible? I think she is.
So,
I'm gonna have to look.
but Caitlin Clark, you still doing your thing. You know, her and Leah Boston. Now you got to add Miss Angel LSU in there for Player of the Year
Angel
because
Reese.
they got to add her in there too because it's
No,
going to be
Caitlin's not coming out till next year.
Oh, Lord, you gained. I already got one more year with her. Oh, no.
One more year.
Oh, no. This.
But they got to maximize. You know, they got to maximize. We all know what Caitlin is, and she holds the record for something else. I can't remember. So like we know who she is. Like, and you can only do so much. You know, we hear in the NBA all the time, get Lucas some help, get KD some help. You know, like we hear all this, get LeBron some help. We hear all this, and this is one of those moments where the others, the rest of the ones surrounding Caitlin have either got to step up or they got to put somebody else in the position to step up because there's nothing else she can do. Her stats are ridiculous.
You can't do it by yourself.
Right. No, it's a team sport,
And then, how I like to do on Sugar Lights, I like to give my fans games to look forward to.
Right.
As you see, tomorrow's slate for the women's. Speaking of Florida State, we have an in-state rivalry with the Miami Hurricanes down at Coral Gables. Miami has not been the same team as they was last year because them girls were on fire last year.
Right.
But this is a rivalry. And this is something Florida State better not take lightly because them Canes, they know how to beat Florida State. That's for sure.
It doesn't matter what sport it is.
Doesn't matter what sport. Them Canes know how to beat Florida State.
For sure. For sure.
And then you have a top 5 matchup at Assembly Hall. Katie Clark, who we just talked about, got to take that talent against Indiana, who's ranked number 2 in the country.
Right,
Is a game. See, now, I have something to say. And this going towards the ESPN. I want to know, what do y'all have scheduled for ESPN at 6:30 on tomorrow? Because this is a top 5 matchup that's going to be on the Big Ten Network. I need an explanation here.
Right.
You tell me I have to find a Big Ten channel for me to watch a top 5 matchup.
Makes no sense.
I need to know what's going to be on ESPN around 6:30, 7 o'clock. I need to know that.
Right. Or they could do ESPN too. I think the ladies are fine with being on ESPN too. I mean, the UConn game this weekend, it was on Fox. It was on a prime slot right there at noon, or 11 where I'm at, but it was at noon, and they had over 1 million viewers. Like they will come if you will show it. And this is a top 5 matchup. Like we all want to see it.
Like everybody doesn't have the Big Ten Network. Matter of fact, people probably have the Big Ten. They don't even know what the Big Ten Network is at. They don't even know what channel it is.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I agree. No, I mean, you're not going to get me to disagree with that because, even the next game, like you see.
9:30,
Mhm.
ESPN top 20 matchup. Stanford at
Right.
Arizona. Y'all can put that on ESPN, but you can't put a top 5 matchup on ESPN. Make it make
Right. Yeah.
sense.
Agree. But I will say that I'm excited for this matchup because even though there's some space in between the rankings right there, the Pac-12 in women's basketball, in my opinion, has the toughest schedule. I mean, you look at all the teams that are in the Pac-12 and start thinking women's basketball, and you think winners. So I'm excited. I need Stanford to get on their business though. But you know what? If they lose a game or two and Haley falls to number 3, I'm happy.
Oh, because we know you love Haley. You want the Wings to do anything to
I
get
love
Haley
Haley Jones.
in that jersey.
Anything. If
Now
we
I'm
got to
listen.
trade up to number
I'm
2,
just
do
going through
it.
this. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, ESPN. I need the explanation here because we trying to put the spotlight on women. How can we do that if you have a top 5 matchup that on a channel that nobody really knows about?
Right. Well, and tonight you also got the Texas ladies playing Tech in Austin.
Ooh,
Go Longhorns.
ooh. Did you say